Hi folks, back again. Bathrobe Chronicles number 72, and believe it or not, this is part 8. I don't know how in the world this happened, but a few days ago I decided that I was going to sort of post, or whatever you call it, my last video. And somehow I just started running off at the mouth, and I ended up having 8 parts to this last one, this number 72. And as I was processing them, or whatever you do to get them ready, I noticed that part 8 I had some personal stuff on there. Frankly, I was talking. Part 7, I ended up talking about donating to Doctors Without Borders, and I guess I was sort of making a plea in part 8 for people to donate something. And I gave some of my finances out, which was really highly inappropriate. So a co-worker said I should redo it, which I am. And part 7 ended about, I don't know, well anyway, I just donated to Doctors Without Borders. So I guess the thing I want to encourage you all to do is that a lot of times we say, either literally or we think, that let's let the government handle this. Well, the government, sometimes, there's lots of things they do a good job with, but there's lots of things they don't do a good job with. And also you may have some personal interest or what have you, or you may have a certain group of people who you may want to help. And, hey, give some money. Even if you don't have any, I mean, everyone can spare $5. And I don't think I had this on the last segment, but I know when, excuse me, when I donated to Doctors Without Borders, I didn't want to keep her on the phone because I'm sure they were overwhelmed at that time with calls, but I asked her, about the average donations, what's your average donation or what have you. And she said that they get tons and tons of people who donate $5, $10, $20, and your money actually counts. And almost any of us out here can come up with $5. I mean, if you go to a bar and have a drink, I haven't been in a bar in 20 years or so, believe it or not. But even 20 years ago, I think drinks were $4 or $5 or something, or even a cup of coffee at Barnes & Noble, for crying out loud, can be $5 or $6. So even if you don't have a lot of money and can't give a lot, any amount would help. So pick out your charity and sort of help the folks out. Now, I know I've been ranting and raving about religion lately, and well, anyway, excuse me. And I had a few things that came up that I'd like to cover in this segment. And first I'd like to say, as I said, I'm sort of signing off and quitting for a while, or at least I think I am. That's my plan. But V, down there in Georgia, thanks for hanging in, and I don't know if you'll see this one or not, but anyway. Now, here's the deal. People talk about religion. I think it was Christopher Hitchens who said, whose one of his books, subtitle was something about religion poisons everything. You just a glance in the newspaper just recently. Here's what was on the internet. We had, of course, the Muslim psychiatrist in Fort Hood who murdered, I think it was 13 people, and wounded quite a few others. This is just over the past few weeks or couple of months. Then we had the fellow who murdered one soldier and wounded another. They were standing outside of a recruiting center, and he just came by and blasted away. Ironically, or maybe not so ironically, this kid, who's like 23 years old, I believe, was born in the United States. He converted, and of course his last name is now Mohammed. And he, unusually, or it was an unusual event, excuse me, he actually wrote directly to the judge and said, I'm guilty, I did this because, I'm supposed to do this because, I'm a Muslim and, that's what I need to do. Murder people who have been over in Iraq or what have you. Then, of course, there's the suicide bombers that they, do this stuff all the time. And I don't mean to make light of light of this at all, but you know, every once in a while I will jokingly say to one of my coworkers or someone, you know, these guys blow themselves up thinking they're going to get 72 virgins. I guess I would question who in the hell would want 72 virgins, but you know, I'm not trying to make light of the horrible things they do. But this is religion, folks. This is religion. Then recently, of course, the doctor who was performing abortions, he was murdered. And so you know, religion is not benign. It's out there. It's causing people to do things. You know, they have these beliefs. I think I posed a question to a coworker. When was the last time you ever heard of a newspaper account or TV account of an atheist went wild and murdered people because of his beliefs or her beliefs? I mean, I don't think that happens. Now, okay, now I know some of you out there, assuming that you're Christians and watching this, you'll say, yeah, think of all the atheists who murdered people. Yeah, they didn't murder them because they were atheists. They murdered them because they were mean people or bad people or evil people, sociopaths, psychopaths, whatever term you want to use. They didn't murder them because they were atheists. They didn't go to their atheist book and the books that murdered these people. You know? That religion stuff is, well, of course it drives me crazy. If you've watched more than one or two of these things, you know that I actually have some notes tonight, believe it or not. Let's see. Oh, and this is pretty tragic. This was on CNN today. There's a minister, whatever term, pastor, or whatever term you want to use, who came from the Tabernacle of Glory Church in Miami and went to Haiti. By the way, what's today? Today, it's just after midnight, so to speak. Today's actually the 25th. This was in the CNN on the 24th, if you're interested. So he goes from Miami to Haiti. Excuse me. I don't find this stuff hard to believe. It's just, they had a prayer thing. I think it was yesterday, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 12 hours. You know what they were praying for? They were asking for God's forgiveness. Now, you know, well, I'll be right back.